Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
This is your host, Alicia Debrell from Insight Media. Today's guest is John M. Cleare. He's a licensed realtor in the state of Michigan with over 11 years of experience. John successfully closed a surplus of over 75 deals per year. His expertise includes residential and commercial closings, in which he has closed nationwide. Due to his passion, wholehearted devotion, rational approach, and work ethic that infuses into each and every deal, he has secured a vast amount of repeat clients. He primarily assists real estate investors and traditional homeowners achieve a profitable outcome by producing successful closings in a short duration of time. John swiftly addresses general issues that may arise with a solution-oriented approach to achieve a smooth transition towards the common goal of a seamless, rapid close. So, without further ado, I want to welcome John to the show. Hi, John. Welcome to the show.
Hi. Thank you, Alicia. Very nice of you to have me.
This will be fun. So, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and where you're from?
Yes, I was born and raised in Michigan. However, I began my real estate career in Atlanta. Now, while I was in Michigan, I attended the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor, where I majored in industrial engineering. While I attended U of M, my mother gave me a copy of Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And this book inspired me to embark on a relentless quest for information pertaining to the real estate industry. And with this knowledge I became a real estate investor and utilized my research in the industry. I purchased my first two properties when I was 21 years old, where I initially became a landlord, and I leased out the properties to families and other individuals who eventually sought home ownership. After a few years of being a landlord, I desired to expound upon my real estate knowledge and began assisting other real estate investors by finding highly sought-after properties that were off-market for them to invest in.
Well, that brings me right to my next question. So, who do you help and how do you help them?
Well, I primarily assist real estate investors that either purchase residential or commercial properties below market value. I also aid traditional homeowners seeking to either purchase or sell their properties, whether they be residential or commercial. So a lot of homeowners in this market, since we are in a very, very hot market right now, they're looking for their go-to source. And I really try to help them by helping them analyze the market, let them see what recently sold in their area that's similar to their property that they're looking to sell, whether it's residential or commercial. And I also assist homeowners purchase their first home or their next home for their family. But I do specialize with working with investors. That, I would say that maybe 80% plus of the time that I spend in the real estate industry is more so focused on investors because I'm one myself.
What made you want to get into the real estate game?
Okay, initially it was my drive to be an entrepreneur. I saw real estate as an opportunity for me to help others while also achieving success by building my own business. I realized that most wealthy individuals in this country seek out strategic real estate opportunities, whether they are residential investments or commercial investments, and many of those individuals also enjoy the passive income aspect of real estate. I also have a couple of mentors that really helped me out earlier in my beginning stages as a real estate investor. And they offer great insight. And I also saw them work diligently towards their goals, and it inspired me to do the same in the real estate industry. And I also like to give back. So whether you are a beginner in real estate or you have some experience or you're very experienced, I do a lot of JV partnerships with more experienced individuals, whether they're a realtor, broker, or investor, and also people work a 9 to 5, and they may be looking for additional income on the side to supplement what they're already doing. I help mentor and coach those individuals that have that burning desire to become an entrepreneur, and at the end of the day, really help other people.
I like that. You seem very passionate. Do me a favor. Can you just break down, the different types of people you help in detail, please?
Yes. So we help real estate investors seeking to leverage their cash and passively earn a high % return on their investment. Many of my clients are accredited investors that either fix and flip properties for sizable chunks of cash or buy and hold for the long-term cash flow. We also assist traditional homeowners that either seek to purchase a home, lease out their home, or sell their property. Time is of the essence in this business, and we consistently strive to provide our clients with impeccable service and provide quality results in a short amount of time.
If I'm a homeowner and I'm looking to get out from underneath my loan or the house, what are my options?
Many homeowners actually have many options when they highly desire to sell their property quick. Most homeowners either reach out to an experienced realtor or cash investors, and we encompass both of these solutions. We have a large database of cash investors that we partner with to achieve the common win-win goal of closings, successful closings, whereupon every party involved in a transaction is encouraged with achieved results. At times, we may also utilize the MLS and our affiliate agent and broker network to achieve the mutual goal of finding a qualified buyer.
Why would a homeowner want to work with you and your team?
The reason is because we provide homeowners numerous options, whether they desire to sell their property quick for cash, off market, or whether they are seeking the highest and best price possible by listing their property with us. We work off the seller's or buyer's time schedule when it comes to assisting them in selling or purchasing a property.
So if you had one piece of advice that you could give a homeowner looking to sell their property quick, what would that be?
My best piece of advice that I would suggest to a homeowner seeking to sell their property quick would be to check the reviews of the real estate professional that you are interested in possibly going with before you decide to do business with their firm. One example is, most individuals already do this when you go to a new restaurant or a social event. So when it comes to such a significant process of selling or purchasing a property, you want to know that you are receiving the absolute best service by knowledgeable and experienced real estate specialists.
So do your research.
Correct.
Can you clear up maybe one myth or misconception for homeowners looking to work with an investor for like a quick sale of their property?
Yes. Many homeowners may feel that whenever they see for example, we buy houses sign or ad, that an investor automatically wants to negotiate a price, whereas they keep all the profit. This is not necessarily the case, especially in my business. I always try to achieve a win-win situation. So I do like to educate the homeowner or the investor with the recently sold comparables in the area, as well as the properties that are currently active on the MLS. Even though those aren't sold comparables, it kind of gives you an idea of kind of where your property stands and what other people are asking for, maybe similar properties like yours. However, the true, finite insight will come from the sold comparables. So we focus on ensuring that all parties in the transaction are completely satisfied with the sale and purchase price. And this not only leads to repeat business, but it also leads to several referrals from past clients that we have closed with.
Now we've talked about the homeowners. Let's talk about investors. What are the top 3 reasons an investor would want to hire you to get out from underneath or to sell their property or their investment?
I would say that the top 3 reasons why an investor would want to hire us is that we stay in tune with current market trends. So we provide off-market residential and commercial real estate investment opportunities. And we also help them either purchase their next investment or help them sell one of their investment properties currently in their portfolio. And lastly, I will say that we are extremely trustworthy. So we only take on opportunities where we see a successful solution in the near future. And that comes from the market research. That comes from pricing the property correctly when you intend to sell it. And, marketing it in a true fashion so that all the investor has to do is, or the potential buyer, is just go and inspect the property. They've already seen the photos. They've already seen the comps. They have a good idea of, how much the taxes are, how many square feet it is, and just the essential, information, about the property so that when they go and inspect it, it's kind of just a formality, So by the time they go and inspect it, they already are interested. And the inspection is just, so they can just see it and gain their own insight. And it just really helps streamline the entire process.
No surprises.
Yes.
So, okay, then why would an investor want to work with you and your team compared to anybody else in your field?
Many investors find that it's much easier to work with a team of professionals that consistently seek out prime investment opportunities through various marketing avenues. Basically, what we do differently is, like I see a lot of my competitors kind of just being very broad and general in their approach when it comes to an investment opportunity. In this business, you hear the word due diligence a lot. And essentially that basically just means do your homework. And you always have to keep in mind the caveat emptor phrase, buyer beware. And that is because a lot of buyers may not do enough upfront research. And after you purchase the property, it's yours. So what we help our investors do is do as much pre-due diligence work for them so that they have a great breadth and depth of knowledge and information about the investment opportunity. And we also encourage them to seek out other licensed individuals, licensed inspectors, licensed appraisers, so that they have as much information as possible up front so that when they do make the decision to buy from us, it's a concrete, well thought out decision and that they don't experience buyer's remorse. Because if a client experienced the buyer's remorse, then that would decrease our repeat business. And we're in it for longevity. We're not in it to make a quick buck.
Okay, well then what makes you different from other investors out there? Because investors, there's tons of them. Why?
Correct.
What sets you aside?
Okay. I think that all investors in kind are, focused on turning a profit. However, what makes us different is that we go the extra mile whenever we present our properties for sale. We conduct an extensive amount of due diligence, such as inspections, recently sold comparable properties. We take recent interior and exterior photos of the properties. We analyze the market rents in the area, and we like to provide and offer, exclusive deals to our VIP buyers that are not necessarily made available to the public.
So can you clear up maybe any myths or misconceptions about being a real estate investor?
Yes. So we all know that beautiful homes for families are in high demand. And, when you take it back to the basic economic principle of supply and demand, investors seek to buy low and sell at a higher price point, i.e. market value. Now, we come across many sellers that need to get rid of their property quick, whether it be due to a pending or recent divorce, inherited property, their tired landlord, back taxes, or, other miscellaneous liens, or simply that they just need to sell quick to put their capital to use towards another business or personal endeavor. So one misconception is that an investor is going to present you with a ridiculously lowball offer. Many cash investors purchase property as is, thus they are taking on greater risk as opposed to purchasing property by means of traditional methods, which is usually through the MLS. A realtor comes out to meet the homeowner, list the property on the MLS, and set inspections for interested buyers. But this usually entails a 30-day plus closing process. On average, I would say that most traditional loans now are taking at least 30 to 60 days to close, whereas with most cash investors are closing in 2 weeks or less. They can move quickly. They don't have to get any loans approved. The cash is just sitting there in their bank and they're just ready. When they see a great investment opportunity, all they have to do is send a wire to the title company. And additionally, I would say that if investors didn't take the risk of turning eyesore properties into beautiful homes, then the real estate industry as a whole would not be able to flourish necessarily with the availability of recently rehabbed properties for renters to rent or traditional homeowners to purchase.
If you had one piece of advice that you could give a real estate investor looking to sell an investment, what would that be?
I would highly recommend that the investor carefully analyze their property with recently sold comparables to determine a price that will allow the property to sell quick based on the condition and the location of the property. So, I kind of advise my sellers to kind of take a detached method from it. Like I know that you may have a lot of memories in the house. You may have grown up in the house. You may have raised your kids in that property. But looking through the eyes of a buyer, they don't know all that. And unfortunately, that's not really necessarily relevant to them. They're thinking about their own memories that they can achieve and go through in this property. So I would say look at it as a number, just strictly with the numbers. And that's why we encourage our buyers and sellers to actively do their research and do as much due diligence as possible so that you are making an informed decision and not necessarily an emotional decision.
Makes sense. So I have one more subject I want to cover, and that's commercial real estate. What type of investments fall into that commercial real estate bucket, and what are the differences between them?
Typically, commercial real estate investments include apartment buildings such as garden apartments, mid-rise apartments, or high-rise apartments. Commercial investment also include office buildings or retail properties such as strip centers, regional malls, hotels. And, then it kind of breaks down a little bit more. So with the hotels, you have the full service hotel, you have limited service hotels. I know that we've all seen the extended stay hotels. And you also have special purpose commercial real estate such as car washes, self-storage facilities, theaters, and the list goes on. So in short, I would say that a commercial investment is, especially when it comes to apartment, for example, like if you have an apartment building, anything that is 5 units or more is considered a multifamily or commercial property. If you have like a 2-unit, a 3-unit, a 4-unit, is considered a residential property. We are highly looking into expanding into apartments and helping apartment owners sell their property quick. And, we're also looking to purchase properties as well ourselves. So we are primarily looking at 10 plus units when it comes to apartment buildings. And, we're looking nationwide. So we're looking for great opportunities, and we're always here to assist and help other investors that may need to do a 1031 exchange. And we're going to talk about that in a second.
Okay. And so tell me, how is the commercial real estate different from a residential property? What are the differences? How's that transaction different?
So commercial transactions tend to be a bit more complex when it comes to analyzing the financials, as the income generally comes from multiple sources. And they also tend to have more expenses than, residential properties. So commercial transactions usually require additional upfront capital. And although it can be relatively easier in some respects to get funded for a commercial deal, because most commercial lenders are strictly looking at the income generated by the commercial investment property instead of the actual credit or the financing capabilities of the buyer. Now, some lenders may still, pull a credit report just to see or want to know how many commercial buildings have you purchased in the past, but primarily it's an asset-based investment instead of like a credit worthiness-based purchase in the eyes of most commercial lenders. So that is the upside, and that is a major key difference.
Okay. Does selling a commercial asset take more time than a traditional investment?
Yes. I would say that selling a commercial asset commonly, but may not necessarily, take more time than a traditional investment. And this is usually because the due diligence period alone may take at least a month or more, depending on the size of the investment and the inspection period that is negotiated. Many commercial buyers are often referred to as sophisticated buyers. So at times, there may be factors at play that require an investor to properly seek out a good investment via a 1031 exchange. Now, this allows an investor to defer capital gains tax, not never pay them, just defer, capital gains tax by finding a like-kind investment opportunity to reinvest. And so that, with these 1031 exchange, a lot of investors are on a set time limit in order to find a like-kind property. So, for example, if you have a 100-unit apartment building that you've owned for 10 years, right, and, the income that's generated after the expenses are all paid, that's usually referred to as the net operating income. So, year after year, you're turning a profit, hopefully. And if you're not, then we can help you invest in great properties that will turn a profit. So in order to defer being taxed on the NOI that you have received year after year, you can in turn purchase another like kind property, which in this example will, maybe you buy another 100-unit property in a different state or even in the same state, or you buy a 90-unit or a 120-unit. This essentially is a great, and like this is a main key difference between residential and commercial. Commercial allows you to not only realize more potential profit, but you also have, the 1031 exchange at play that can kind of help you keep turning profit and focus on your business at large.
Okay, so what makes you the go-to person if for somebody who's looking to sell a commercial asset for a fair price?
I would say that my clients deem me to be a go-to person because I am reliable, I'm fully committed, and I'm trustworthy. My team of professionals and myself go the extra mile and reach out beyond our typical network when selling or purchasing a property. And we also specialize in solidifying joint venture opportunities with other real estate agents, brokers, attorneys, and investors. And, it is because of this collaborative effort that we can cohesively achieve great success in the real estate industry, earn repeat business of cherished clientele, and continue to positively affect the lives of many.
Okay, so if you had one piece of advice for somebody looking to sell a commercial property, what would that be?
If I had one piece of advice for someone seeking to sell their commercial property, I would definitely suggest that they gather all the vital information ahead of time. This would include, rent ledgers, profit and loss statements, and, perhaps even have a formal appraisal conducted so that they can acquire a professional appraiser's opinion regarding the value of their property. And this will greatly aid in ensuring that they appropriately price their property per current market trends to achieve a quick sale and seamlessly smooth transaction.
So if somebody wanted to get hold of you or your team for any kind of real estate transaction, how would they go about doing that?
I love this question because I'm always open to gain additional clients and to further, the real estate business of other individuals, other investors, to help other homeowners buy or sell their properties. So if someone wants to get a hold of me, the best way is through my direct cell phone, and my number is 248-217-6055. Once again, my number is 248-217-6055, or you may reach me via email. So my email address is real easy to remember. It's just my first and last name, John Cleare. So it's John, John, Cleare, Cleare, @gmail.com. Or you can reach me at john@dollar4deeds.com. So john@dollarsfordeeds.com. Additionally, I'm on, all the other social media outlets and professional social networks, such as like LinkedIn. So on LinkedIn, you can find me, just search for John Cleare. On Facebook, you can search for John Cleare or Cleare Enterprise Solutions. On Twitter, I'm at Mr. Cleare, REI. For investors, I'm on Connected Investors. You can search for John Cleare. I'm also on Bigger Pockets. You can search for John Cleare or Cleare Enterprise Solutions. And I'm also on Instagram, and you can just search for Mr._Cleare. And just remember that Cleare has an E on the end.
John, I really appreciate your time today. I mean, I love how, you want to give back and you want to help others and that you seem to be a very fair person. And I think that that's great.
Thank you so much. I'm always here to help individuals, their goals, whether they want to be an entrepreneur or they want to be a real estate agent or they want to be a real estate broker or a commercial property advisor. No matter what the goal is, as long as it pertains to real estate, I love to network. I love to do joint ventures, and I'm very passionate. I've been doing this for over a decade, and like I said, it's all about the longevity. So if you're like-minded, I would definitely say reach out to me, via phone, email, social media, and let's do business. Let's work together.
Well, John, I really appreciate your time today.
Likewise. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share my knowledge and spread my voice to the world. I appreciate that.
No, this was a great interview. Okay, guys, you just heard from John M. Cleare, and this is your host, Alicia Debrell from Insight Media. Until next time.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.